What's goody, my gang? Caleb here. You know, recently, and by recently I mean a couple months ago, they put Pokemon Fire Red and Leaf Green on the Nintendo Switch, and I figured, why not talk about it for a YouTube video? So we're going to be talking about that game. Crap, I forgot to have a funny joke set up. Staplers, am I right?
Well, when I first put up the game, I'm greeted by this old guy who says he's glad to meet me, I think. And then he asked me for my name and my gender for some reason.
Ha, I forgot my name. Well, I might as well put in my name as Ranch for some Wisconsin state pride. You know how it is.
Why, yes, indeed, my name is Ranch, actually.
When Professor gave me starter choice, I decided to go with Bulbasaur, because I like Bulbasaur. And I decided to name it Shrek, because he kind of looks like an onion. Well, after that, I decided to fight against my rival, who I named Fib, because I don't like him, and I also don't like Illinois, you know. So, I'm not going to show what happened, but let's just say I wasn't exactly the victor. And then I walked into the Viridian Forest on my way to the first gym, and the first thing I see is a Pikachu. So, I caught it. I then decided to go to the first gym, and it was pretty easy, because it was a rock-type gym, and I chose the grass-type starter. I chose Bulbasaur, not just because I liked him, but because of type matchups. This is a really easy game. So, I defeated Brock, and I got the Boulder Badge. And yeah, that's one of the 8 badges. Oh boy, this is going to be a long game.
At some point I decided to catch a Rattata, and I'm using him for HM, so I'm going to call him HM Slave. You might not be able to tell, but it didn't let me do that. Next, I bought a Magikarp for a very reasonable price, and I'm like, you know what, if I bought it for this much, he must be pretty good. So I named him GOAT, as in the greatest of all time, and he went straight to the front slot of the party. Oh, look at that, I caught a Clefairy, and I named it some random garbage because I ran out of name ideas by this point. Anyway, I gave it this weird rock I found, and, he kind of changed from a Clefairy to something else. I'm not entirely sure, because I'm not big on studying rocks, Not my thing, if you couldn't tell. Not much of a geologist, Anyway, after that, I used my incredible team of no Pokemon that are weak at all, and I decided to just beat up some nerds in this cave, and I ended up on the other side of Cerulean City. Now, at Cerulean City, surprisingly, I had a small amount of trouble, you see. My Ivysaur is just 2 levels under level for this fight, you see. So, I didn't lose, okay, because I never lose, but, it was close. And that makes 2 badges out of the 8 that we need to be able to challenge the Elite Four and become the champion, eventually. Anyway, next thing we had to do was fight our rival again. Oh crap, he has a Pidgeotto and I only have a Pidgey. And even if I'm using my other Pokemon, Ivysaur is a type weakness against it, and same with the starter. I'm gonna lose again. How do I keep losing these rival battles? They're stupid communist, whatever. Next thing I proceeded to do was help this guy named Bill, who was trapped in a Pokemon, to separate himself from the Pokemon. Oh, Bill. I think I might have heard that word before.
I don't know many people named Bill, but I do know what bills are. Congress and money. If he is just a bill, I guess we gotta get him into law somehow.
Well, I then proceeded to get the bike voucher from the Pokemon fan club at Vermilion City, which I popped out next after helping out Bill, and, I need to cut down a tree, so I guess my next goal is to go and get cut. That music is just so good, and this probably might be the only reason that... Oh, wait, there's a rival fight. Okay, well, you see, I did get cut by rubbing an old man's back, but, I just so graphic, I couldn't show it, Even though it's a scene in a children's game. Look, I just don't want to have to, dig around in all my old Switch files to see if I have the recording. Just believe me when I say that I got the HM cut. The next gym, I wasn't super effective against it, but I was way too over leveled, and grass resists electric, so it's safe to say I got the badge. I gave Goat this candy that I found, and yeah, it evolved to level 20. That was good. And what do you mean he's evolving? I thought he was perfect as he was. Is he gonna become an actually good Pokemon? I can't believe it. It's the first time in human history this has happened. Probably. I don't know how Pokemon evolution works or something. Look at that. Look at him. He's perfect. He's great. He's Gyarados now. Well, I went through Diggle's cave and I got Flash, and then, it was time to go to the Rock Tunnel. Well, I went into Rock Tunnel, and finally that Abra I caught that I named Tammy Bulbin was useful. It could learn Flash, and it lit up the cave. I don't know why I named it Tammy Bulbin. I thought it was funny. Before I decided to take on Erica, I went into the place and I redeemed the bike voucher, and after this I decided to just kind of skip over the Lavender Town for now. I don't know, ghosts are scary. And then my next gym battle, I decided to fight Erica Kirk, at the... Okay, it's not Erica Kirk, but I did have a Goat who was a flying type, so, it's pretty easy gym. It's safe to say I got the rainbow badge because of colors. I don't know. Wow, fighting those gyms was tiring. I decided to grab some tea from this random old lady I saw, and then I was like, you know what? Maybe I should spend the time by gambling. But, I kind of was hesitant about it, but, I decided to go in the casino anyway. I thought it was a pretty cool thing they put in this game, Gotta support gambling. I saw Team Rocket in there, and he was standing in front of a poster. So, I was like, what? I'm gonna battle this guy. I'm gonna beat him up, I don't know. He was standing in front of that poster. That poster was a little suspicious, I must say. It took me a while, but I finally was able to defeat that. And I had type disadvantage. It was a flying type, and I was aggressive. Pokemon type matchups. Although, I still think it was kind of suspicious that Team Rocket Grunt was standing in front of a poster. A random poster. And then he said that the Team Rocket hideout might get discovered.
Okay, so I don't understand. Everybody in the Kanto region seems to know who Team Rocket is and knows that they're super evil. So why do they still why haven't they arrested Team Rocket? They don't seem to be making a lot of money. You don't see them actually using any Pokemon they stole. You only see them using Rattatas and all that. So I don't know what doesn't make any sense. So what if this is a fictional story and the characters in here with the Team Rocket are just there for plot? Yeah, that makes total sense.
I decided to investigate that poster. Their bases are actually there. I'm shocked. I just can't believe that they'd hide in a casino. Really? Of all the places to hide? Really?
Now, I could talk about the rest of the game, but if I did, I wouldn't have this video uploaded until June. So you're getting this half the video right now. So. Thanks for watching. I'll be back next month. Trust.
Yeah, I'm freaking freestyling to my Pokemon Fire Red Trainer card. I don't know why I'm showing the Fire Red Trainer card when this is a video about Pokemon Leaf Green, but this is going to be the most peak 2-part video on the whole planet. Just watch. I'm telling you, just watch. Just watch. Look at the number of Pokemon I caught in the Pokedex there. 68. It's a peak number. Anyway, in other news, thanks for watching. I'll be back next month. Just watch. I'm definitely not making a really long outro sequence just so that I can make this video exactly 10 minutes. I don't know what y'all are talking about. I just like the idea of this video being 10 minutes long. Shut up. I don't want to hear it out of any of you, okay? Alright, buddy.